Hi everyone, in today's episode we're going to talk about hair transplants in women and how this can really help restore confidence and hairlines. So stick around. Hi everyone, welcome back to the show. Now, commonly on this show we talk about androgenic alopecia, which is a genetic condition which causes people to lose hair. And most of the time when we're talking about it, we're referring to men. But women also lose hair. And it can be even more emotionally fraught for a female to lose hair because it is not socially acceptable in this day and age for women to thin or certainly lose hair. Now, I just want to highlight first of all that there are multiple reasons why someone, be it male or female, could lose their hair. But in this particular case, we're talking about androgenic alopecia, and in women, we call that female pattern hair loss. And so it's really important to make sure that the actual cause is diagnosed, because if you misdiagnose the condition and manage it a certain way, that could lead to more problems and even more of a catastrophic outcome. So make sure that if you're suffering from hair loss, you're female, you're suffering from hair loss, make sure you see someone that is able and has the experience to manage this condition. Make sure that you can get a good and correct diagnosis. So then we come down to treatment options, right? How can we treat that? Well, there's lots of different treatment options, and we've talked about many of them on this show. There are medications that can be used. There are supplementations that can be used. There are non-surgical therapies that can also be used as well. And again, make sure you speak to your doctor about all of these. But in today's episode, I specifically want to talk about hair transplant surgery. Now, hair transplants, like in men, is moving hair from the back of the head, what we call the donor area, to an area where you're thinning and that doesn't have as much hair. And we move these hair follicles one at a time, or the follicular units one at a time, so it gives you more density and it gives you a very natural look. The difference between men and women is that men generally bald in this upper part of the scalp. The same does not hold true for women. Women have a more global hair loss. Women don't necessarily lose their hairline in this particular condition. They may maintain their hairline, but they may not have as much density as they want in the central area or in the corners as well. And so in that scenario, if we're able to stabilize the condition with medical therapy and make sure that people can take the medical therapy, they can tolerate that, and then they're not losing any more hair. And if they don't have as much density as they want, then in that scenario, a hair transplant procedure can be very effective at adding density to a particular area to give you that the ability to gain more coverage. And this can be life-changing in a lot of women. So because sometimes when women are thinning in particular areas and they're trying to layer the hair in a particular way to get increased coverage. Now, if you have more hair, then you've got the ability to layer it in a much more effective way and give you a much more significant cosmetic outcome. And so hair transplant surgery involves taking hair from the back of the head. There's multiple different techniques that we can employ to get that hair. There's the strip technique, which we cut a strip of skin with the hair follicles on it and we sew it up, and that just leaves you with a linear scar at the back of the head. If you keep your hair long, that would be enough to cover that scar, and none will be the wiser that you've had anything done. And then we take that strip and then we dissect it into the individual grafts and then implant them one at a time. The other option is doing what is known as FUE surgery. And then in that scenario, we shave the back of the head, and that can be difficult for some women, but for some people that's tolerable. We shave the back of the head and we're able to punch each individual hair follicle out one at a time, and again, implant that back into the recipient area. If you're someone who wants to keep the hair long at the back of the head, doesn't want the incision from a FUT scar, then the other option that's available to you is something called long hair FUE. And what we can do is, whilst keeping the hair long, still harvest these grafts or follicular units and then implant those as well. And again, the outcome is going to be the same whether or not you do strip FUE or long hair FUE, provided that the person that is doing it has the relevant skill set. So I think hair transplant surgery in women is fantastic. It's certainly not the panacea to the entire problem, but it's important that if you are suffering from hair loss, understand that we understand that it is very difficult. It can be very traumatic and a very emotionally fraught position to be in. So make sure you have a chat with someone that can give you proper advice and help guide you through this journey. I hope you found that useful. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Take care.